Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Albion Military Duel, a new cut of the Albion map. I do believe they've changed the colour palette or something. It does look a little bit different. But yes, this is a 1v1 cut of the map, so it doesn't have all this stuff. And today we've got Gaddafi playing 2Y, the new Soviet division, and he's going up against EJdude playing as 4th UK, which has recently been buffed quite a bit. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for EJdude, and he's playing 4th UK Armoured. So 4th UK got some buffs recently. The Chieftain Mark 9 and the Chieftain Mark 11 got cheaper. The Mark 6 II I don't think got cheaper. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it didn't. And so I wouldn't bother bringing it, because now it's quite cost inefficient, because the Chieftains in general were just not cost effective. But now this is not that cost effective compared to these, although you get an extra rank of vet, right? The div itself basically relies upon this principle of the fight starts, you don't get forward deployment, so you arrive second, and then you just sort of constantly grind tanks into the enemy, these slow-moving tanks, backed up by a lot of AA. Enemy bomber comes in, blows up your 130-point tank. Okay, enemy bomber dies, costs more than 130, and you've got a lot more tanks than he's got bombers. So it's a really funny kind of mid-game division where you don't immediately rush, but you show up at the first minute after all your tracked stuff gets there from spawn, and you just start attacking, and you just keep attacking, keep attacking, keep attacking, keep the pressure on, and you will just eventually overwhelm your enemy with garbage. It's a pretty funny div, actually. So let's go through it tab by tab. I'll just show you mine real quick. So this is sort of what, we're working towards, and we'll talk about stuff. So first things first, you don't need 3 cards of supply with this div. You might think you do because of all the tanks, but basically what you do is as soon as the supply comes in, you turn off the fuel, and then you're only repairing damage. And you can get away with 2 cards of supply. I think you have to, so that you can fit other stuff in. So you can get away with 2 cards of supply. So you can get rid of whichever one you want. I mean, for 10 points more, this has way more supply, but if it dies, you're going to be very sad, etc. So yeah, you can keep whichever one you want. But yeah, I only run 2 cards of supply, because you've only got 1 arty piece here. Now, the other thing is, so I always say, Toad artillery bad, Toad artillery bad. In this case, it's kind of hard to, because you just want to keep buying front line, keep buying front line, keep buying front line. And so, 2 of these is better than 1 of these, and 2 of these is, 280, and this is 230. And so I actually bring these, and yes, I spend all game moving them around everywhere and complaining about it. But this, you need to buy 2, and it slows you down a lot, because that's 2 minutes income just on the artillery, whereas this is 1 minute's income for 2 pieces. And it slows you down a lot, and you can't afford to... you've just got to do this slow, continual grind. I mean, it can work, but what I found was that I was just losing so much momentum by buying 2 of these. So you see he's only got 1. So, yeah, I would actually prefer this, as strange as that sounds, because then, yeah, I would say the Toad mortars are worse than the self-propelled mortars. But it's just the cost-effectiveness of this. And, you need to keep the transport with it, you need to move it around. The Abbott, it looks really nice. They redid the textures when they released 4th UK, but it is kind of garbage, so it's a damn shame. 105s, they just don't do anything. The splash is too low. So, I have seen, so I've seen Integer play where he'll bring, 2 of these at 2 vet or something, because you can get rounds on target quite quickly, but... So I run this. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with doing this. It's just, and, maybe that's a good idea. Especially if you're against an MMG team. But if you can be bothered to micro these, because you'll notice that the HE is only very slightly lower, and it fires faster, and it's half the price. So it's yeah, so I prefer this, but then you do have to move them around constantly for 40 minutes, and it will be a 40-minute game with 4th UK. You don't win early. You just got to keep grinding the enemy, grinding the enemy. And this helps with that, because the amount of DPS you get out of 2 of these is higher than the DPS you get out of this. But you can just bring 1 of these if you want. But this is how I would do it. Yeah, so 2 cards of supply for, you know, and especially if you only got 1 of these, you only need 2 cards of supply. Just remember to switch off the fuel. Remember to switch off the fuel. Otherwise, you need 3 cards of supply. Simple as that. And that allows you to bring more infantry, because there's not enough infantry here, basically. So 2 cards of ATGMs and a card of MMGs. He's obviously seen our meta video, and that's very sensible. You can upvet this. The reason it's not upvetted on HDR is because they get the Resolute trait. You can upvet this if you want. You don't have to. I mean, to be honest, given a 40-minute grindy game, it's probably best to leave it at no vet. The Milan 1 should be brought in the FV432 Milan, because it's only 10 points more than the Rover, and it gives you an extra Milan, and it's got smoke, right? You'll notice a lot of the British stuff has smoke, almost all of it. So yeah, that's pretty funny. The Mott rifles are very good in the Saxons. If you compare them to Assault Pioneers, they're the same price, but they've got 1 more guy, but they lose shock. That's the trade-off. But Assault Pioneers have a bad vet curve for just no apparent reason, because they've got shock. Wowee. So you get 1 more of them. But it comes in a better transport as well, the Saxons. So yeah, you definitely want both cards of that. But you do need more infantry here. The Assault Pioneers, you can bring it in the Scat. The Scat is only very slightly better than a regular FV432. So if you look at, like... This is so dumb, dude. Some of these MI2s with, like... So this PKT times 4 is actually just 4 times better than a PKT. Whereas the Scat is barely any different to a regular FV432. The only difference... Because the HE is the same, even though it's 2 MMGs. The only difference is the salvo length has gone up to 8, so it does like 33% more damage, something like that, because it just gets, you know, the fire rate's a little bit higher. Also, it's got a lot more ammo, so it could fire for like 3 minutes continuously, and it's not going to live that long. So yeah, I don't really like it. I don't think it's that, like, because you can use it and you can smoke and stuff, but the Saxon is just infinitely more useful for 5 points more, because it's like twice the speed. Like, this off-road speed is really bad. And so the way I do it, and you know, you can run it with the Scat, but I just bring these in the truck, because then I can sell the truck. But the Saxon is worth bringing, in my opinion, because it's twice the speed, right? This is 45 and this is 90. And you'll notice it's also got more ammo than a regular V432. So yeah, I just bring these in the Bedford, and that gets you units up faster, and then you can sell this and get more units. And I bring 2 cards of Assault Pioneers. Another thing you can do is bring Terriers, right? 1 card of Terriers in Saxons, that can work, or a card of Assault Pioneers in the Bedfords. Because the Terriers are kind of bad, because the SMG means, you know, they've only got 8 shooty power, because this is 2. The SMG is not very good. The Sterling, it's got 40% accuracy, right? It's really bad. It's not like an MP5, which has more than... I think it's 80% base accuracy. Another thing I've seen people bring is the L6 Wombat. Honestly, I just don't think it's that good. It just misses a lot. The funny meme is that you can bring it in the Wombat vehicle, and this used to have good optics, because they cloned it from something else, and it had good optics, but they put it to bad optics, and you might be like, well, it's 60 points for double Wombat. I mean, you can if you want. I just don't think it's that great. The teams only being teams of 2, I just don't think it's that great, frankly. You got plenty of ATGMs and you've got the MMGs, so what role is this filling? And you want to be attacking, generally, so you don't need yet another defensive tool, because these are all generally defensive, right? Obviously, you can run your Milan 1s, and you can run them all forwards, but... Yeah. So I like having a card of regular rifles, because sometimes you need to mix in some Law 80s to just kill people, and I would bring that in the Bedford as well. Regular rifles, and I think there should be more infantry here, because it's going to be a 40-minute game. So like a card of Terriers in the Saxons is really useful just for sponging. 40 points is rough, but you know, it's 8 guys for 40 points is actually not that bad. So if you look at this, this is So for 8 guys, this would be 60, right? And another thing is some people, and including myself, used, and I think I might still do, but the gun group in the FV432 Milan. But you might as well just bring a Milan 1 in the FV432 Milan, because, you know, this is not a good squad for 30 points. It's only 4 guys. It's quite cost ineffective. It does have AT and so on, right? And you don't really need the military police vehicle because your stuff isn't actually reservist. And it's just kind of a waste of a car. But yeah, we want to get these Terriers in somehow. The Romor is really good. But yeah, the Chieftain Mark 6, honestly, I don't rate it anymore. Because, right, for 30 points more, you get 4 pen. Like, 4 pen's a lot. You do get 1 more availability, right? But yeah, you get 4 pen, which is super nice. Like, if this needs to come down, basically, because the other ones did, and I just don't think this fits in anymore. So, at the moment, I think I run 2 cards of Romos, but, like, so these, like, you can 2-vet them if you want, but the idea is 40-minute game, where you just spam out chieftains, and so you might find yourself running out. And if the gap from no vet to 1 vet is huge because your recovery rate goes from 7 minutes to 3, but from 1 vet to 2 vet it goes from 3 to about 1.5 or something like that. So it's not actually that big a deal. And these are going to be dying because they get 1 shot, side shot by conkers, and you can't turn very fast. And they die in 1 hit to the 30 AP plane, and they'll die to clusters and stuff. So you don't really want to be like I would up-vet your Chieftain Mark 9s, but honestly I wouldn't do this. And then because this was 6 before, right? 2, 4, 6, and then you can you know, down vet these, right? And now it's 8. Get rid of that. You're missing a trick with this. So this is really good armor for the price. It will die in 1 hit to a Milan 2, because it needs 11 armor to survive that. But it'll survive, you know, everything worse than a Milan 2. And like 55 points for this tank, and you bring it at no vet, and the whole point is this is your sponge. This is there to get shot. So this goes in front of the chieftain. It's a bit of a pain in the neck because the speed. But yeah, these are really good at just you just spam these out with terriers and stuff. It's very, very funny. And at the moment, I'm pretty sure instead of 2 cards of these, I run 2 cards of Romors, but I haven't actually tried that yet. The Romor is pretty nice. But yeah, the idea is that this is like an IFV, so it should just, whenever your infantry's fighting, there should be one of these around. Whenever you're pushing, this should be in the front. And you bring it at no vet because it's there to get shot and die. It's very cost effective for 55 points. It's just, all your tanks are so slow, it's super hard to do. You basically got to commit to a fight and then just fight that for the whole game. The striker's decent, actually. I'm pretty sure I don't bring this at the moment, but it is decent because it's got more range. Even though the accuracy is really low, it will rattle off 5 rounds, and your opponent can't rely on it missing, and even if it misses, it's still going to suppress them. So yeah, the striker, I faced a 4th UK player recently. That will be linked in the description, Hippie versus Koch. And he was using these, and that was actually a good counter to my BMP2s. Because of the mediocre stealth, and they're actually really fast. They can get into position quite quickly. So you'll notice he only has 5 CVs, which is a bit on the low end, because you want to be sort of pushing and doing stuff. Anyway, we can put the Terriers in now, right? And yeah, you can get another 2 Chieftain Mark 11s, or you can get infantry CVs. This one's probably the best. Hang on, no, this is better because for 5 points more, you're getting no SMGs, and you're getting smoke. So this one's probably better, and you can get it in the Saxon. So you can get this one, or you can get the tank one, whatever you want. So scouts, useful. You want motorized scouts, they're really good at the start because you don't have any airborne forward deployment, so this is your fastest thing. The Scimitar Spyglass is new, that was added this patch, and it's got exceptional optics. So basically, like, the exceptional optics is better than the good optics, right? And so I would get rid of this, get a Recon Helo. This has exceptional optics as well, so that's very useful. And get the motorized scouts in the Saxon. That's how I'd do it. And then, yeah, still have the regular scouts, and if you really want, you can bring it in the Spartan, because it's... I mean, the thing is, the Rover's super fast, and the Spartan only has mediocre stealth, not good stealth. It does have smoke and 2 armor, but, like, it's not got HMG or anything, so I don't really see the point. I guess the idea is that it can go in front of your tanks, and it's just sort of more meat for the machine, but I'd rather, you just sell the Rover and buy something that you actually want. AA, so the Javelin, yes, I would bring this in a Saxon or a Rover. The Scat is slow, right, so you want the speed. It's a lot, look at the off-road speed, man, it's twice as good. And it's got smoke, so I prefer the Saxon because of the smoke, but the Rover you can sell. But whenever I can, I bring a Saxon over a truck. But you see, whenever it's the FV432, I bring the truck. Well, the Saxon's really nice. We spoke about this. Yeah, the Darkfire. Yeah, the Rapier at 1 vet. That all makes sense. Just that transport option. Helis, so we're out of points. What you can do here, right, is instead of having this, you would get 2 more of the tank one. And then you could have... Yes, that's probably worth doing, actually. So, great. Now you've got, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 CVs. And you're expecting a long, drawn-out, protracted engagement. And then you've got 1 AP, and you can... if you really want, you can have 2 of these. But you lose so much momentum, or you can have 2 of these. But honestly, I think it might be better to get 4 more helis with ATGMs. I think they're very useful. Something like, sadly, like, this is so much worse for 15 points less, because it's got 4 less pen and 10% less accuracy, but you do get more of them. So that what that means is that actually it's the same accuracy. But 20 pen's very useful, because that's a Conkers, basically, and it one-shots 6 side armor, which is very common. It's very, very common. 6 side armor, 6 side armor, 5 side armor, 6 side armor, 6 side armor, right? Lots and lots of tanks have 6, like T-72s, a lot of them have 6 side armor. The Leopard 2s, they have 6 side armor. And so it's a very good deal. And now you've got loads of Hell Arms, which is nice. Sadly, no Gazelle rockets here, and these, it's just not worth it, man. It's just not worth it. 50 points for that. It runs out straight away. It's just... It dies in 1 hit. This will survive a manpad hit. That's why it's so useful. Air. So basically, this div really struggles against helicopters. So you need the Javelins. And that's why you bring them in the Saxons, because you can get off-road super fast, and you can smoke, and the Saxons stay around, and you can send them into the fight, and stuff like that. This Jaguar rocket is how you kill the enemy helicopters. So 2 cards of fighters, okay, that's very sensible. This Jaguar HE1 thing, 10 points more for 10% ECM, and the ability to target healers, but not the ability to shoot at planes from far away. Yeah, it's probably worth it. But, like, so this is really weird. So the one on the left should cost a lot less, because the one on the right has split payloads, and everything else is the same. So it can drop bombs. You can switch off one of the bombs, drop the bombs, switch the other one on, drop the bombs, and then you get two bombs off in one thing, and it reloads faster, and it's the same price. Like, the one on the left should just be like 10 points cheaper, basically. It doesn't make any sense. But then you got to compare these two. But the Jaguar's dive bomber. Anyway, he's right to not bring this, basically, but what I would be doing is get rid of this and bring the Jaguar rocket. Not only can you send it in front of this so this doesn't die, but this is how you kill helicopters. Sometimes you have to send 2, because these are trash against helicopters, because they don't have... And you don't want to send this. It's 100 points more. It's 120 points more. And this can't shoot helos either with the Sky Flash, and this doesn't have a gun. So this is how you kill the helos, as dumb as that seems. Anyway, switching to his opponent's deck, we've got Gaddafi. Back at it again, liberating Libya. Yeah, I mean, the story. So I went to Saudi Arabia on a religious pilgrimage, and I met a guy from Libya. And he was like, oh, wait, where'd you come from? The UK? Anyway, turns out most of them had a much better life under Gaddafi, you know, when the country had no debt, when it wasn't a war-torn shithole. There wasn't some massive refugee crisis coming through. Anyway, 2Y. I've just done a guide on 2Y. A big guide, a very, very big guide. I need to. I'll link that in the description as well. I'm just getting it up so that I can show you. So if you look here, this is my YouTube channel, and you see the this is a 2Y guide, and it's like 2 hours. It's 1 hour 45 minutes long. Lots of examples. Absolutely comprehensive deck review there. So I won't spend too long on this because you should just watch that. But I don't know which one's going to come out first. I mean, obviously the members can see this right now, but the rest of you got to wait. And so there's that Koch game as well. Yeah, this is where he plays 40k. Oh no, it's the same matchup actually. So this is probably going to be quite useful, given the comparison is the exact same matchup. Anyway, 2Y, very slow division, wants to be slow and slowly build up. And then the late game's pretty crazy. And honestly, the chieftains really struggle against the T72 this thing, because they just can't hurt it. They do like 1 damage, and then this thing this thing takes 10 shots to go down. And it's very, very funny. So, yeah. In fact, this is looking a lot like my deck. A lot like my deck. It's almost identical. There are some things I would change here. So, basically, you want to play slow, use the BTR-80s and stuff. So 3 cards of supply. I'm pretty sure you can get away with 2 because you don't have that much arty. I can't remember what I do, actually. I might break 3. Yeah, so I only have 2, because I switch off the smoke. I switch off the fuel. And that's very important. If you're not switching off the fuel, then bring 3. But you need to be switching off the... I should just do a separate video all about that. I mean, it's dead simple. As soon as you buy it, you click on it, and in the middle down here, it's got fuel. You just click it off, and you just only turn it on when something starts running out of fuel, and it'll have a little icon on it. Makes your supply last much longer, and then you only need 2 cards. Because, yeah, I used to advocate for 3 cards on every division. And then I realised the fuel thing, and now there's lots of divisions you only need 2 on. So I get rid of that. And what do you know, 2 more AP, right? Great. And then what I spent that on in my deck is this. So I can upnet my Gatsias. You don't have to do that, especially with the lack of supply, right? But obviously, if you're not switching off your fuel, then you do actually need a 3rd card, because that's how much supply will just go to fuel. So it's a pretty big deal. Anyway, regular Gvardetsi I just wouldn't bother with, really. If you want to take a town or something, you've got the SVD guys, and you should be bringing the Saperi RPO as well. So that, and I actually bring the Sappers in just trucks, because the BTR-80s are nice, but you've already got 2 cards of them, plus the recon card, yeah. 3 cards of them, so I don't really think you need it. So yeah, just get rid of that. So 2 cards of ATJ. Honestly, this can actually work. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 CVs. What? 5, 6, 7, 9 CVs is a lot. It's a lot. So I would probably get rid of the Inf one, maybe. Because then you can bring the 30mm. You don't have MMGs. But yeah, 2 cards of... Honestly, this might not be a bad idea. I don't bring this personally, but I have problems where if you go up against a light spammy div, you really struggle. And that might be because I don't have this unspeakable one, which would help against light spammy divs. I was against 152 easy. It's in that guide I showed you. And I just couldn't kill his stuff as fast as he could buy it, because I couldn't get the T72s out because they would just die. And I did have like BRDM2 Conkers. Like, that's another thing. This is a really useful tool. But yeah, even something like this might have done better, but then he would have artied it, so... But it shoots really fast, so... Yeah, there's lots of things I could have done differently. I do recommend watching that video, actually. It's all about 2Y, so... But yeah, this could work. And, yeah, 2-vet BMP2s, that can work as well. RT, tank, so yeah, basically, you can only bring these out once you've killed all the enemy planes. So that's what the OSAs are for. A Briusa, I mean, I just prefer the OSA because it goes super far against helos. And so you can sort of outrange it. But yeah, the Briusa, if you actually, like, if a helo just sort of flies over you, you could really mess him up. Like, it's not actually that bad. And it's a lot cheaper. So maybe it's worth bringing. But, like, this is so good against infantry. Like, you need to bring this. And so that has to be there. You can get rid of this if you want, but this has to be here. So that the way I run it is I just don't have this one because I need the 3 AP. But yeah. So with these tanks, they are nice. It's just they don't have the max range, and so this is actually a big step up because it's actually got it's got one more pen because it's got one more pip of range, one more tick of range, 5% more accuracy, and it fires 2 rounds a minute more. And it's got an ATGM. It does not survive a 30 AP missile. In this particular matchup, it doesn't have to. So yeah, the T-64B is nice to have instead of one card of these. It's the same availability and like because of the max range and the higher fire rate. So against like this is a tank, this is a gun. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously they're both tanks, and obviously this has a gun. But you get my point. This has a better gun. This has better armor for the prices. Recon. So yeah, because I'm just thinking back to that game I lost, and it was pretty rough. So something like this can work against because if you're against a cheap spammy div, you've got this. But you know, but you've already got this one, right? And so you know, like 1, 2, 3. Lots of ATGMs, all the BMP2s have ATGMs. What I like to do with this is bring it in the rocket one and have it at no vet. You can do this with quite a lot of divisions, but here it's really funny because you've just got 6 healers and they kill stuff. It's very funny. It's very funny. And then instead of this, I bring this bad boy because you can do a very funny opener. Now, these two, whenever I see them playing, they're sort of playing with each other, so I guess like they're going to know. Your friend's gonna know that you're gonna do this. So, but if you're just playing ranked, basically, because you've got 10 recon there. I know they're not cheap, but if you really need a cheap recon somewhere, you just use this. But basically, you open with this, this, and this, and the fighter protects the helo. It's kind of hard to get that right. After a minute passes, they will buy a plane and chuck it at the helo. They always do that. Every single time. Unless they already had one out. That's what they do. Almost every single time. And the fighter should protect it, and you can just kill the whole enemy forward deployment with this, basically. It's just very, very funny. Yeah, the Briusa, man, I mean, it's costing you, right? And, like, the OSAs are quite like they kill helos, and you've got this and you've got this, so I would get rid of that. But I'm basically just turning this into my deck. Yes, between these two you should get this one because you've just got 6 of these now. And I really like this cluster plane because it's got a 1,000 kilo payload. It just kills anything, even infantry. It does a very because like that's 5 plus 2.5. I'm not sure if you actually have to times this by 2 as well. So it's 10, or unless that's already done there. Anyway, it's very good, and it reloads in a minute. The disadvantage is it's 90 points more than this. But basically what you do is you send this out in front of this, and if this dies, okay, if this dies, obviously it's the end of the world. But that's how I like to run it. But like I said, I've just sort of turned this into the exact way I build my deck. And then the only thing left was... the only thing left was I bring the Acacias at one vet and then follow them around with a CV. Because the idea is, right, that you're going to be behind at the start. I mean, I basically just turned it into an exact copy of my deck, so I understand if you don't want to do that, but at least you now know why it's like that. Uh, the only difference is that this, I run the BRDM2 Conquers, because this gets hit by artillery and stuff, but you can load it up into the MTLB and move it around. It's just this, it moves itself, but yeah, this does have the advantage of the missile is better and it's faster as well, which means that, and it's got, it's got less pen, but it's faster, so it's very hard to dodge this. So on the defense at the start, it can make sense. The other thing is I don't bring this, and I'm pretty sure instead I'd have 3 more AP, and I might bring something here. I can't remember. I'll just show you. This is my div, so 2 cards of supply, right? No unspeakable one, but like I said, I lost that game. One of these I have down. I was experimenting. Oh yeah, I bring some more tanks. I bring 1 more card of tanks, which, thinking about it, might not actually be necessary because. So I've started 2-vetting these, whereas if I just down vetted these 2, I'd still have 6, and then maybe I could get rid of this one, and then I could bring what exactly? I don't know, Briusa. Or a bit more infantry maybe. And also I tried, so I had 2 of these at 2-vet, the BMP2s, and then I've tried, after that game I lost, I switched it out for this one. Because I was like, I need something else to hold back that kind of attack. Because these tanks are very expensive, and they die to a bomber, because you can only avenge them, you can't intercept them. And you can try with the big 20 dies, but it's very hard. The OSAs, they just don't have the range. Anyways, that's enough deck yappage. Now we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, briefly on the matchup, I actually have a game that has this exact matchup with me in it. So I do recommend watching that. Obviously, you should just watch every single one of my videos over and over and over again. Okay, so I'm just trying to find it so I can show you it. Yeah. So if you just take a look here, you'll see I have a guide on 2YA. That's very important when you're playing 2YA. And this video, 4th UK versus 2Y. So if you haven't seen that already, depending on when that came out, etc., obviously the members get it right now, but I don't know if it'll be in public access by the time this video goes live or what have you, then that'll give you some ideas. 2Y essentially wants to play a really slow game. It wants to not get pushed too much at the start so that it can build up its AA net, which doesn't have very long range AA, and slowly start getting the T-72s out. 4th UK basically just wants to attack pretty early, not airborne forward deployed or anything, it's not airborne forward deployed, and then just keep attacking with this kind of slow roll of chieftains and centurions. As you'll know from the deck review, EJdude does not have the motorized scouts or the centurion, so I think those are 2 things which are going to make his attack a bit less effective. In terms of the map, basically this is a contested middle zone, and then all of these are parallel, right? So every time I've played it, which admittedly has only been about 3 times, I always end up fighting here, and nothing really happens here. That's not to say nothing can happen, it's just because you get to these points and then it's just a big open field, and so what the hell are you supposed to do? Do you know what I mean? So it just tends to be that most of the fighting happens here. Looking at the deployments, we've got Gaddafi, and he's opening with Razvedka BMP 1Ps, which are very cost effective now. They went down to 40, I'm not sure why. So they are very cost effective. I prefer bringing them in the helicopters and then just not buying them at the start. But yeah, I mean this is all right. And then yeah, the Spets Razvedka is how I open. The alternative is you can open with the funky recon helo, which he hasn't brought, an Su-25 and a MiG-23, and then you could just use that to kill everything. And if you look at this deployment, like, you'd absolutely rinse him, because I suppose, the Darkfire might get you, but it's got to unpack and everything. You got plenty of time to react to those. Yeah, so got some recon coming out to here, one looking down that road, one just, yeah, looking down this road. And then the BTR-80 guy. BTR-80s are good, I made a guide on those recently as well. Then we've got a Conkers, okay. And a Potok 2, so he opens with 2 Potoks 2. I did a guide on that as well. One for Delta and one for Bravo Charlie Alpha. So, you know, this one should really be going Alpha Delta, I suppose. Because then you'll cap it faster, because this has to cap 3. It's not a big deal. Another Conk, I think I already spoke about that one. And then he's like spamming out these anti-tank guns. So that in this case, you'd really want the BRDM2 Conkers, because it would get there a lot faster. But yeah, these are better on the defense because they go further and the missiles faster. It's just they get taken out by artillery quite easily because they're towed. Whereas the BRDM2 Conkers can just run away. Just depends how much attention you're paying. But yeah, we've got some good defensive locations here. What I will say is, you know, you should try and get a unit up into this at the start, because, like, a recon unit especially. So, you know, a Spetsnazvedka or whatever, because if you get into here, well, then you can look into the entire enemy back zone with your ground surveillance radar, right? So that's pretty useful. That's a pretty useful spot. The enemy can sort of do it to you, but not as well from their forest. MiG-29, and then more anti-tank guns. Gvardaitsi. We spoke about this in the deck review. I don't like that, really. An unspeakable one. And, yeah, could use a bit of AA, frankly, like an OSA, instead of one of these. 1 or 2 of these repairers. Like, this is a lot of repairers. Switch it to his opponent's deployment. We've got ferrets, which you really don't see very often. They're nice in that they're very good optics for 15 points with smoke. But they're not nice in that it costs a card, and usually you want something that can fight a bit better. But actually, you know, it's alright. Very good optics for 15 points, but you only get 5 of them. Yeah, you should really be getting 6, but... well, whatever. Yeah, doing some looking. So, yeah, we'll just start on the right, I suppose. So, no motorized scouts, which I think was a big mistake. So he's forced to open with just a bunch of regular scouts, which, you know, they're still good. Probably still bring them, but the motorized scouts are... they're like the Spetsnazvedka on the other side, because you don't have airborne forward deployment. The motorized scouts are really good, and they come in the Saxon, which means you can smoke away, right? This is a nice building. And yeah, the ferret. And then behind that, for the right, we've got javelins. I think that should be in a Saxon, really. Assault pioneers, I prefer them in the trucks. 4 medium machine guns, so that's good. He's watched my meta video. I got a video on that as well. Eventually, right, I want to do map guides as well, because then I don't have to talk about the map every single bloody time, and I can just say, go watch that, and it should, you know, cut down on the repetition. Darkfire auto sells on, which is a terrible idea, because after it shoots you want to move it. Hellarm, and a Sultan. Then over here we got another Sultan. Sultans are really nice because, like, they're like these Potoks but better for only 10 points more, and they still retain the 3 availability, so it's in a real sweet spot as a unit. Ferret, this is a good spot because it can actually see down here. You'll notice his opponent with the AT guns can't actually see over here. So this, you know, you can potentially send a ferret all the way around the side or something. Scouts, another ferret. And then MAG, 2 Milan 1s, and Darkfire with the auto cell on again. And that Darkfire should really be up here. These do not have the range. They've got less range than the OSA. So let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. 1 join at the lowest levels worth 2,000 views, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. Otherwise, please just like the video, it makes YouTube recommend it to more people. And yeah, this plane's really funky actually, so it's got a gun pod on it, which we can't really see. That's what the Vulcan is, it's a gun pod version. There it is on the center line there. And basically what you can do is you can turn off one set of bombs, drop the first set and then turn it on and drop the next one, and it's sort of also a fighter but not a very good one. These sky flashes, they're just the regular ones, they don't have much range. So it's not the best thing ever. You see he's unloaded the dark fire here and he's going to try and fight over the dark fire. You'd expect the Phantom to lose that fight, really. And it looks like it is probably going to die. The dark fire, the transport's being sold, and yeah, the Phantom goes down there. I mean, this has 40% ECM, and the dark fire was a bit too far away there. Okay. I suppose, I mean, it does have 70% accuracy at Nova, 75% now that it's killed something. So, and yeah, how many rounds did it fire? 3. Okay, yeah, you'd expect at least 1 hit there. And there were 2 hits between that and the fighter. So I think that all made sense, basically. So, interestingly enough, that's still a bad trade for blue, and he just immediately buys the other one. Okay. So I guess he should be coming for this Potok. I believe he can see it. So he needs to remember, yes, he switched off one of the bombs. The scouts might just be able to kill this. Right, if he moves the Mott rifles forwards, that'll get it. He's going to use the bomber anyway. And now he can just switch on the other bomb. And then come round and hit the other thing. So look, now he's just switched it back on. And yeah, this would be a nice target, right? Because you could get all that. I don't know how much you can see. Probably none of it. Yeah. Resved could be MP 1P, why not? And this is a very nice bomber, it's just you only get 2 of them, and so losing 1 right at the start is very sad. But you see their efficacy. Thing is though, that's 2 minutes income just on these bombers, because they're 265 each. He is about to get a massive cash injection from all these rovers, as you can see. But he's too thin on the ground now because of those bombers, and what did he get out of it? The CV that could have died anyway if he'd just moved the Milan 1 and the Mott rifles forwards. And a BMP-1. Obviously that bomber will come back, but, you know, imagine if instead he had a Hellam. Because there's no AA, right? Hellam here, right? Come kill this and, you know, really have the run of the place until these Bruces and Osas show up. But yeah, so far, blue is winning. And that's kind of what you'd expect in the early game against 2Y. 2Y is very slow. And it doesn't get a lot of stuff compared to 4th UK just because its stuff costs more. Thing is, I mean, this is a really big problem. So he buys another plane. I think this is a big mistake, right? Because now that's 3 minutes income on planes. Obviously 1 was part of his initial thing, but look at what's coming to the front line. He has 2 tanks, one of which is very cheap. In fact, both of which are very cheap. And 2 infantry, both of which are cheap. His opponent has, you know, 2 actually good tanks. And 3 AA pieces and an AT plane, right? Although he seems to have messed this up, so this isn't actually going on the road, it's just attacking over there. So yeah, you get... Oh no, I mean, he could have smoked that. Could have moved it. Pretty funny, actually, but... Yeah, it's a shame. And you see he's gonna peek out again. Is that another plane? I mean, this is getting a bit silly now. So this is probably going to die. I'd be very surprised if that survives. Next OSA round, mate. No, the OSA was behind a building. So it couldn't shoot, because the building was blocking it. So it actually gets out. Interesting. The chieftains have rocked up and, you know, you can hide this. They fire really slowly. And if they lose cohesion, you could just forget about ever shooting. This BMP-1's getting a lot of work done, but yeah, he could just, you know, hide behind this with the auto sell-off, which he has done. Although he should have come out this way, really, because he's going to get shot again. But yeah, there's no reinforcements coming. I mean, okay, because he just keeps buying the planes. And yeah, you see the difference. Oh, he's bought another one. No, hang on, this is the one from before. This is the second plane he bought. The one at the start obviously died, and then he bought this, and it's reloaded because it reloads in 2 minutes. Whereas his opponent, look at the difference here, right? So this plane, it might kill 2 units, maybe even 3 units. But if I'm buying 3, you know, if I'm buying 3 or 4 units a minute, and you're buying a plane a minute, well, you know, he's going for the AA, which is pretty intelligent. But you know, this is going to be gone for a long time now because it's got to repair. That was smart, going for the AA. Thing is, like, so, you know, this would have to kill 2 of those to be worth it, and it did survive, and, you know, later it might kill 1. And it forces the enemy to bring more AA, but for now, I mean, look at the difference here. Just not bringing any frontline, whereas his opponent's just bringing loads of units. So, You know, you can abuse planes if you want. You can spam planes. This could smoke. But you know, you gotta think. You gotta think. Do I need another plane or do I need some frontline? Because there's just nothing coming. Now he's finally getting points to spend. Although by the timing, he's probably had those points for a while. Because you get ticks on every minute, right? So this could have come out a bit earlier. But he's lost the zone. Like, the proof is in the pudding. All those planes. This wasn't a good idea. If that was all ground stuff, he never would have lost this zone. So now red's on a +1, and that's what happens if you buy too many planes instead of ground stuff. It's hard to get the balance right? Because sometimes you do need to spam planes, but if you're literally just spending like 4 minutes of income in a row on planes, then that is a mistake. Because you do not have any frontline. Unless like you're on the offense and there's like literally nothing there. But even then, it's generally just not a good idea. So he's getting pushed now, and he's got no answers for it apart from like one 100-point tank. And that's going up against, you know, 200-point tank and the rest of the army. The Javelin needs to run back. The MAGs are doing alright against the Inf, but, you know, look how much of it there is, and the BTR-80s can obviously kill the MAGs. And the MAGs can't shoot back. This T-72 is going to absolutely rinse this Chieftain. It literally costs twice as much. Did miss. I'm not sure what he's doing. Okay. And so, yeah, well, he's probably just going to buy another plane, isn't he? So the Darkfire does need some supply. I guess that's coming. What the hell happened to it? What? I wasn't looking. It must have been this. It must have been this plus this, so it would have been a side shot. Didn't even hear it shoot. Okay, well, that's one way to deal with it, I suppose. Look away, and then when you look back, it's dead. These need to unload. The Phantom's been hit by the MiG-29. They're not unloading, so they're just dying. This one's probably going to die as well. He's getting shot, but he's not unloading it. Okay. This is one of the ones he bought before. MiG-29 should really die here, but I'm quite surprised this didn't die in the rebound. But yeah, the Darkfire has got very high accuracy. It's very high accuracy. This is making me want to play 4th UK. As I said, I've got a game on the channel where I play against 4th UK as 2Y. And in that one, my opponent, he did buy the occasional plane. Generally just to kill a T-72. Because I wasn't buying any AA. But, you know, ground forces, they pay off their investment faster. They take longer to get there. But when the plane gets there, it kills one thing, right? It's got to kill like 3, 4, maybe 5 things, depending on the price. Or even more, to pay for itself. Whereas the ground stuff, it gets there and it tends to trade sort of, you know, 1-to-1 with how much it costs, basically, reasonably quickly. But yeah, the BTR-80s, you see the pen on this isn't great. They're at 2 there and they only have 8 ROF, but yeah, these are the ones he bought before, so he does need to evac that immediately because he didn't do it, so he's going to eat a lot of Briusa rounds there, he might even die. Yeah, so if he'd evac'd immediately, that wouldn't have died, because it wouldn't have flown in a perfect circle over these 2 Briusas here, so that was a big mistake for a BTR-80, which was going to die anyway. That's a shame. These guys need some recon with them, because if this jumps forwards, it's going to sideshot him, and then it can just jump back. There was a Scimitar. He's got the spyglass ones, and the ferrets, I suppose, are decent, cheapo recon. But yeah, if I was Gaddafi in this case, I would not try to start my own currency, because that's a really great way to get deposed. But what he could do is just jump forwards into this building and sideshot all these. They're dying anyway, apparently. But, yeah. Like, he could he could kill this. Could have killed it. Oh, he's doing it! So, get a couple side shots here, because this is fleeing from the... Oh, he missed. And now it's going to turn. Well, I mean, he still, you know, messed it up. That was a side shot, the second one, and yeah, 50% accuracy. You would expect 2 hits, 2 misses. But yeah, now he should go back. Don't just sit there and get shot. And okay, but yeah, okay, now he's doing it. Great. You see the idea. The Mott rifles are pretty nice, actually. They're not guard or whatever. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Jaguar coming in, going for the Potok. And yeah, the double Biryusa, I mean, this one's up there because it's killed so many things. And now he's just buying 2 Osas. So yeah, he needs that to keep this alive. This is and the fighter, yeah, like this cannot survive without the many AA. The scimitar doing good work there. You'd expect this to kill that, really. It's got 70% accuracy. There it goes. The scat is literally just a regular FV432. It's like maybe 30% better. It's really bad. I don't understand why. Like, you know, it's got twice the DACA, bro. Obviously, don't give it twice the damage, but anyway, what he could do is send this Sultan over, so he doesn't have to buy another CV from spawn, which would actually take longer. But he's not gone for that. Another thing you can do is, you know, put the Sultan near the Darkfire. This Darkfire should be moved up, but he keeps selling the transports they come in, so he can't move them. Like, there's not much cover here. But like this one in particular, this could go over to here, right? You know, in those trees. Somewhere where you, because obviously if you go here, you're going to get shot, so you want to be somewhere. The Osa got hit by Milan 1. Okay, so this is going for the T80U. It only got 2 bombs off because it dove into 10 Guerrillian AA. And the Milan 1 missed. It would have only done 1 damage anyway, and this has 3 HP. The scimitars are being used pretty effectively. I'm not sure where he's going there. He could have killed... I suppose he's worried about this, but, you know. It's 35% accuracy, you wouldn't expect it to hit. And then this could go forwards a building and kill that. It's good that he's cycling his stuff so it doesn't die. You don't want them both in the same space. You'd expect that repairer to... Actually, would it want... No, this has 3 armor. So I think... Basically what it should do, you should manually switch off the gun and fire the AT missile. Because not only does it have more accuracy, but it's got more pen and it would actually one-shot this. Whereas I believe the gun, 16 kinetic, it won't do it. Although he's a lot closer. Nah, he was basically... No, he was about there. Might be like 19 kinetic. You need 21 kinetic to kill a 3 armor vehicle, because kinetic doesn't do as much damage as heat. Now you might ask yourself, why didn't they just make them do the same damage, but then change the kinetic value so it's basically the same as it is now, but they do the same damage so you don't have to remember 2 damage tables? And the answer is, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm not sure why they chose to do that. But yeah, Sultan's finally shown up. And this is... okay, so he's got 2 fighters. No art yet from either player. Quite surprised by that. But yeah, you see the 4th UK kind of idea. You just constantly get stuff in, constantly get stuff in. The thing is, he doesn't actually have that much infantry, but MiG-23 is probably gonna... Because like, imagine if this was here, as we spoke about. I see he's moving it up now, but it's not got a transport, because he sold the transport. So all you got to do is just click on here and click off. Okay, these Phantoms are gonna die now, because they're just flying straight over the enemy AA. You got to make sure you don't get baited. Oh, wow, okay. I actually killed that. And now he's not evacing it either, so he's going to take 2 more rounds. And that wasn't fantastic, really. You don't want to get baited over the enemy AA, and you certainly don't want to just forget to evac your planes and just leave them over the enemy AA so you can get shot. That's obviously not fantastic. But hey, Blue's on a +1, and the bomber survived, but he just lost 2 fighters. He does have 4, but yeah, this is an interesting... Okay. Quite surprised by that, actually. 6 bombers, although T-72 is notorious for its 3 top armor, as is the T-64 AK. 3 is the maximum top armor, basically. The M1A1HA used to have 4, and they lowered it, and I'm not really sure why. Because that was interesting, right? The heaviest tanks have 4 top armor, but whatever. Some historian somewhere will be gleefully rubbing his hands, or he would be if he played the game, instead of just talking about it. Right, you got to keep those hands free for the Discord posts about how right you are. So this was obviously not the best thing ever, just sort of running into all the AT. However, you know, they haven't died, but there's no supply here. Yeah, the Romor, this is what you want, really. Because look at that. This just really messes them up. But yeah, he's struggling against this. I was going to say he needs an arty piece, and here it is. So he bought it and he fired immediately. That's very intelligent because it reloads while moving, and now it can move up while reloading. But yeah, the swarm cometh, and there's no AA, like no javelins, just the 2 dark fires back here. So this helicopter he's going to struggle to deal with, and you know, his jets don't have like, what? So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why he did that. At least go for the tank. Why did he go for the BRM-1K? So now he's spending his income, right? This is a very key component of the game. If you forget to spend your income, you die about 5 minutes later, and it's not immediately obvious why that happened. Just like, where'd all these enemy guys come from? Well, it's just because they spent their income and you didn't. So that is important. I should do a guide. Like noob to pro in what? Wow, how did that manage that? There's a little gap here. It fit the Sultan through that gap. Blimey, I couldn't fit through that gap. How did that get through that? It's really weird, you know. They showed us the picture of the Pentagon. It's like, well, how did the plane get in there? But anyway, so as you can see, this is very, very bad against rocket things, against Helos, because it doesn't have a gun. But it was already pre-wounded. I think it got a hit. I actually think maybe one of these OSAs hit it. But yeah, he keeps air spamming into enemy AA, and that's not a good idea. Right, you know, that one probably shouldn't have made it out either, frankly. And yeah, so he's got these in, but you got to turn off the fuel. You got to turn off the fuel. Because in the deck review, I was like 2 cards of supply, but if you're not going to turn off the fuel, bring 3, because you're going to run out of fuel really fast. You're going to run out of stuff really fast, because this is going up. Because this is going down, and it refills the fuel like pretty quickly, and it just immediately drains a bunch of supply that you just don't have to lose. So also this Sultan, Shift F, click on this and it'll follow it around, right? He's moving it after it's shooting. You want to use fast move orders and stay on the roads. It keeps you alive better than, you know, because if you're in the forest or whatever, it's very slow. You move very slowly, it means you're in range of the you're in the splash of the enemy artillery for longer, enemy bombers, stuff like that. So we got some chieftains coming in. Could use a bit of recon. Here's the recon. Another centurion. Needs a javelin, really. And yeah, the Conquerors goes down. And yeah, this thing, I mean, it's okay. It's quite expensive for what it is. And the Toad 155s are better because you can buy 2 of them for the same price. It's just you got to micro them for the whole game, load them up every time after they move. It is a total pain in the neck. Thing with 4th Armoured though is that you want to constantly be buying ground units, and if you're forced to, I'm not sure where this guy's going. If you're forced to spend so much on some AA, on some RT, you're going to struggle. So this, I mean, these guys, they can't even damage this at max range. So he should just smoke with the front one and then move them all out. Because yeah, this does 25 pen, which is a lot. The rapiers need to move after they finish shooting. These can move up. He's a CV really, but yeah, he can't damage this. Even if he gets in range, they just won't shoot, I'm pretty sure. Or they'll shoot and they'll do 1 damage or something. So he's trying to mano it, but this just isn't going to work. Look at that. He gets 2 shot. That got hit like 4 times and lost 5 HP. So yeah, he sends in the jet, and the jet immediately gets killed by the OSA. Again. Yeah, I think this is a mistake. It's good to bring in the RT. Like, they're not even hitting it. Like, look, it says holding fire. It's because it can't damage it. Now it's shooting and it's doing 1 damage, and they had to get, you know, 1 pip closer. This is a good idea. Although looks like the fire got it. Okay. Fire curled off, thus allowing the Su-25 to survive. Yeah, the other thing you can do is use smoke mortars on 4th UK, because they're self-propelled. And then you could sort of, you know, if you see something like this, you just smoke it, and then you don't have to worry about it, kill everything else here, you know. because then you can bring the tank around here and shoot this way, and you know you have the smoke here, so the enemy tank, if it comes through at close range, you'll win because you have 4 tanks. The Count stabs are really not bad because of the range. They've got the max range, right, and they've got nice accuracy. But yeah, this Repairer's got so much done this game. That's an interesting name, Ono Freychuk. So yeah, he's cycling so his guys don't die, that's very intelligent. Finally sorting this out. And he's got the exceptional optics now, good. Artillery on the AA, that's always smart. This guy, once he gets within 150 meters, you can just stop as long as it's not got auto cover on, and then it'll throw the satchel and then you just keep running. As it stands, I don't think he's going to make it. The T-72 keeps hitting him. Never mind, it found somebody else to shoot at. And now he's got no cohesion. So, that's a bit rough, really. Romar's coming up. He's actually still got a bomber. Is he just going to YOLO it straight into the enemy AA again? See, now 1 OSA you can fight. 2 OSAs you can't fight. So, should be more guys coming, but there are not. Okay, CV tank. I mean, this is here. This could be brought about. You know, there's a lot of space here as well. Like, you can just send your scouts forwards until they run into somebody. And then send them back, and then RT it or whatever. Obviously, your RT's probably better spent here at the moment. Yeah, some javelins, right? Some recon. Like this scouts, for example. Just put it in that building. You'll be able to see this for starters, and then you can RT that. Because the RT is not having the party. This squad isn't amazing, frankly. The RPG is nice at close range, but I don't bring it. Or if I do, I bring it in a BMP too. If you want like an anti-infantry squad in a truck, well, yeah, you get the BTR-80 guys, so you just bring the SVD squad. But you know, Pomachiki are pretty decent against infantry because of the 3 MGs. I believe they have 1 less strength. See, his cohesion just came back there. Resolute is sort of like half a rank of vet when it comes to cohesion related matters, from what I remember. So he's going for that BTR-80, but like, I guess he can't see the AT gun. And yeah, I get the impression he's run out of infantry. Because I was speaking about that in the deck review, he didn't have enough infantry, and now he's not buying any infantry, which, you know, it makes you think, doesn't it? So yeah, you know, like, this is better than the 155, it's just it costs almost twice as much, and it is not twice as good. It's just the 155 ones, you gotta move them around constantly, and they're towed, and it doesn't work properly. So this can survive a manpad hit, that's its advantage, so now you can just run away and not die. He chooses to hang about. And it misses that time, right? Really expect this to win. Although it'd have to hit it twice, and it's got 50% accuracy. Okay, so it misses once. I mean, that's not particularly surprising. Stuff dying in the transports there. But yeah, like this Gvardetsi, right, it's got 20 AP. If you just put it in here, then you will die, because there's like way too many tanks, basically. Needs more infantry, needs more AA. Okay, so he does still have infantry. The Hell Arms went down. It's a shame, because he had the like, this will one-shot them, so you don't have an opportunity there. But yeah, he's got the recon with it, right? He's got lots of chieftains. He does need to, you know, get some more AA, because these are too far away. Like, where would you even put it? Like, there maybe, if that's a proper tree, but you can't really put it there, so it has to be javelins, because they can go in the buildings. But yeah, you see the issue, he can't really damage stuff, he's going to lose a lot here. Alright. Maybe not. One of his engines has been destroyed though, which means he's basically just dead. Also another thing here, multiple swing fires. Because they've got smoke and you can shoot pretty far, and like the Mott rifles are just getting hammered because they're not dropping back, so they're just getting hit by all the enemy stuff. The red infantry is suffering a similar fate, but red's got more infantry. Some more mort rifles coming. Okay, so he's still got inf. But yeah, killing this stuff is kind of hard. Basically, he does need to sort this out. Looks like he did eventually lose that scimitar. I'm not sure how, because didn't this run out of AT, but maybe it still had one left last time I checked. And yeah, so you kill that, get up to here. And then at close range, you know, you get the chieftain up, 2 chieftains, then you can actually kill this, but obviously that's easier said than done. A better idea would be just get a rifles, which he hasn't brought, or a mort rifles. So I don't know where you, if you can get up here at all, but you know, you can try, right? Another hell arm sent to its death. And yeah, you see the issue, right? That literally did 0. It fired and it did no, like, it bounced off it. Did a fractional amount of damage, less than 1 damage. It's weird because they shouldn't shoot until they're gonna do 1 damage, but I have seen that happen previously. But yeah, you see the issue, right? And this is his best tank, and it does 1 or 2 damage at that range. That's not max range. It's at 1500 meters. So he's having a bit of a nightmare here, you know? An infantry ATGM team here could be useful because the vehicles can't shoot back. So an couple of infantry ATGM teams here, and you just move them around so that they don't get arted, and then they can just constantly rattle off rounds, and because this has to be in tank gun range, and the ATGM range is a bit further. I mean, if he would just run forwards and shoot them, but depends how many you've got. Whereas the vehicle ones, they can be engaged by the T-80U ATGM. So he's coming for this again. It didn't drop the bombs. I don't know, he must have lost vision or something. He's coming back around. He should really just evac it because that MiG-23 is there. He's taking his chances. I mean, there's only Iglas and... Okay, so yeah, he's still here. This isn't firing, right? This could be shooting those Igla positions. Or like here, right? Because this... No, he did run out. He just retreated after it ran out of ammo. Well, it happens. Oh, wrong tank again. He's probably going to lose it for this because he's just flying straight into a jet. I think that's his last bomber, you know. We've seen a lot die. Still nothing happening over here. Blue is on the +1, but I don't see how he kills this without doing something inspirational. And he doesn't seem particularly inspired. You get a Milan 2 in this building, right? Or like a couple Milan 1s and Milan 2s. 2 Milan 2s and you know, just shoot and at least you'll force him back. But he's intent on just buying more and more chieftains and just running them down this road to get shot. It's sort of working at the moment, but yeah. So now these need to retreat, or they're gonna die. But okay, well, okay, he is actually retreating. Because yeah, you can sit behind this, and you know, I suppose the issue is he needs the +1 tick. This isn't actually in the zone, which I guess he's about to notice. So that's not hidden, apparently. Yeah, because the auto covers off for these guys, it seems. Honestly, I'm going to turn it off for me, because that's such a pain in the neck, watching my tank just show its side armor and die. Because it's like, oh, there's a tree there. Very, very frustrating. Yeah. So he should be able to see that, because it's right in front of him and it's shooting at him. So yeah, he needs to get this CV in. He's going to have to do a bit of turning. Okay, it's going for the infantry. Yeah, I mean, it's just, he's struggling too much against these tanks, basically. He wasted all his planes, and, like, he only gets 2 of these T-80Us. That just got 1 shot. I think it was showing its side armor. Yeah, because it was trying to get this way or something, so it's showing its side armor there. It's not looking great for blue, I gotta tell you. It's not looking great for blue. Like, look, it's not even shooting. It won't even shoot the other one. You got so much armor, it's crazy. Yeah, it's not ideal. British tanks, their pens used to be higher, actually, but they nerfed them a long time ago. Big shame. It's interesting that could actually engage that on the side armor, given that it's got 7 side armor. And yeah, this is just, like, what's he supposed to do about that? He's lost too much, really. The idea is you sort of stay behind the buildings, and if they get too close, then you can engage them properly. Like, here, like, he can actually fight back. Obviously, you know, he still died because he's massively outnumbered, but he almost killed it. And Law 80s, he doesn't bring any Law 80s, right? Law 80 behind this building, well, they'd all die when they came past. Yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty Jova for blue, man. Looking pretty Jova. I'll just see how much time is left. Yeah, it looks like he's come to the same conclusion. So, yeah, it just came down to not being able to deal with these heavy tanks. Which, yeah, is something 4th UK struggles with, but the idea is you use the planes, but he wasted all his planes. And then he couldn't kill them. So this is Gaddafi, Saviour of Libya, 200 games. This is EJdude, 200 games. So they're pretty similarly matched players. I would say second is a lot better than 4th UK, frankly. Yeah, it's not a particularly surprising outcome actually. 4th UK winning in the early game and then 2Y winning in the late game because of the, once you kill all the planes, what's going to kill your tanks? Maybe some fancy footwork with the side shots, but apart from that, you're just going to walk forwards and kill him. Anyways, do let me know if you enjoyed that game. I'll see you in the next one. GG.